Hello, this is Mr. B, and I want to go over our quizzes. This is the quizzes entitled Area of Irregular Shapes and Trapezoids right here. So this was kind of a tough one. So I just am going to work through each one of these. There are 8 questions here, and I'm going to go through those. You can feel free to kind of skip through and look for the ones that you had questions about. So the way this is, you don't have to watch this entire thing unless you want to see them all, but you can kind of like drag that little bar to skip over to the questions that you need to work on. So let's just dig in. This is going to be question number 1 right here. I don't think they're shuffled. Maybe they will be shuffled. So anyway, I'm just going to like kind of throw each of these out here. So they may be shuffled. That way, this may not have been your question 1, but this is the shape right here for my question 1. So real quickly, what we're going to do is use decomposing. Decomposing is when we cut it up into simple shapes, and then we just find each of those simple shapes and find the area and just add them all together. So if I cut it kind of like this right here, we see 2 simple shapes. I've got a triangle. So on my paper, and this is what you should do, is on your paper, you're going to organize your work. Just draw a triangle. It does not have to look like this triangle. Come over here, just kind of like draw anything that reminds you of a rectangle. Remember, you're not trying to draw the shape. You're just kind of like saying, okay, this is where I'm going to put my work on my paper. I'm going to organize it here. This is where I'm going to put my work about with the rectangle, and then I'm going to figure everything out piece by piece. So the triangle here, always do this also. So you draw these out. Put down 1/2. Do not forget the 1/2. A lot of people forget that. 1/2. I need the base. So you put base times the height. Okay, so I know what I'm doing. I'm doing here length. I always do a curly L right there. Length times width. So these are the numbers I need, and then I'm just going to add them together. This really right here, this is my expression that will find the total area. So, all right, let's get our numbers here. 1/2. Now we need the base number and the height number. You see how when I organize it like this, I know exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the base, looking for the height of a triangle. So I come over here, I know where to focus my attention. Base and height, they're always at a 90-degree angle. Here is a 90-degree angle right here. This is a 90-degree angle. All right, so this side here has nothing to do with our base or height. So I know 5 is going to be one of them, so I'm just going to put 5 down. And then I know this other side here is going to be the other one, this edge length right here. So what is that edge length? Well, I know it doesn't tell us what that is, but I do know this entire edge length from here to here is the same as this. Same thing, right? So I know the whole thing is going to be 8. And I also know from here to here is 2, and from here to here is 1. So I'm going to subtract 3 away, and that will tell me that this edge length here, the height, is also 5. Okay, so good. So now I have 1/2 times 5 times 5. Well, you can calculate that however you want. 5 times 5 is 25, and I know half of that is 12.5. So the area of this is 12.5 square centimeters. And then the rectangle right here is pretty easy. They give us those 2 numbers, 8 times 5, the length of 8, the width of 5. So 8 times 5 is 40. Remember, that's a rectangle, so there's no half or anything, just 8 times 5. And then we put these 2 together to get 52.5. And don't forget your units, on a test or anything. I know it's going to be open-ended. Always put your units on there, okay? Centimeters square centimeters is how we say that. All right, let's go on to the second problem. Remember, this may not be number 2 on yours, but it was on mine. The second problem looks like this for me, and don't just ignore that number 3 up there. So here we are finding the area of this irregular shape, and once again, it's probably best to decompose here, where you're just splitting it into triangle and a rectangle. Rectangle is pretty simple. I'm just going to write the answer right inside here because I know it's going to be 6 times 10. So we got 60 square meters. And then here we have this 7 goes to the dotted line here. So that's going to be the height. So I know there's going to be base times height. So there's the 7. I know there's a half in here. 1/2 times something times 7. It's kind of crazy looking 7 there. What is the base here? Yes, you're right. It is the same as this because it's part of the rectangle also, right? So 1/2 times 6 times 7. I think probably right here is the easiest part to start with, is half of 6 is 3, and 3 times 7 then is 21. So I end up with 21, I end up with 60 over here. Together they make 81, and then that's going to be square meters right there. That's our answer. For the third problem, it's going to look like this right here. And for trapezoids, we split a trapezoid. Now I know it looks like we can do this and then there are 2 triangles, but all we do is split it into 1 triangle and 1 rectangle. Remember, just 1 triangle, 1 rectangle, and the triangle, let's go ahead and write this formula out. 1/2 base and height, and then length and width. All right, the kind of tricky part is it's confusing because there are these two triangles, okay? But we are only going to find the base of both of them combined. Both triangles combined as if they were 1 triangle. So that's why I say there's only 1 triangle. It's 2 of them put together. You don't have to draw it. You don't have to visualize it. Let's just say the base is going to be these numbers. You can just subtract these 2 numbers. 12 minus 6. 12 minus 6 is going to be the base of both of these combined. Now, I don't know individually. I don't know what that is individually. That looks maybe a little smaller than this, or maybe they are the same, but we don't know that. But I know together they equal 6. So I'm going to go ahead and write 6 down here for the base of our triangle. You see, I know, I'm going to come back to this right here real quickly, okay, this base of 6. I know the whole thing all the way across is 12. And I also know this section here is the same as this section, which is 6. So if this is 6, then these 2, this and this combined, equal the remainder of that. So 6. 12 minus 6 is whatever's left over. That's going to be these 2 combined. Even if they're different sizes, it doesn't matter. We're just going to combine them into 1. So here's the base of 6. The height is going to be 4. And so it looks like we got our numbers here. That's pretty simple. That's going to be our 12. So this is the triangle part, remember? That's why I drew the triangle up here, so I don't forget which part I'm doing. This is very simple. Look how organized it is. Easy to tell. I got my triangles done. Now the rectangle, 6 times 4, length times width, and that's 24. So put those 2 together. We add those, and we end up with 36 square meters. 36 square meters. All right, our next problem looks like this. So here we have a couple different strategies. I think probably the easiest strategy is to compose something. So to compose means to take a large, let me get purple here, make a large rectangle here, like this. What a pretty nice rectangle that is, wonderful. Make this big rectangle here, and then subtract this little rectangle, because we don't need this. So if we did composing, we would just we need the length here, or the width, it doesn't matter which one, and then the length number here. Now this, we don't have the length number. I bet you we could figure this out, because I know from here to here, it's up here, right? It's the same as this. If I were to imagine this, so that's going to be 4. Let me get green happening here. It's going to be 4 from here to here, you know, dot, dot, dot. And then from this section to here, you know, I'm just looking up here. There's 4, 4, 4. So 4, 4, 4, all the way across, that's going to be our total. So our total length is 12. So the big rectangle is 12 times 8. Here, let me do that. 12 times 8. Now we have to subtract the small rectangle right here, which is 4 times 4. So that's going to be 16. So 12 times 8 is 96. And we subtract 16. There we have it. 80, and then square centimeters. That's our answer. All right. Well, I tell you what, we could go back now. You can decompose this pretty easily, just like this. So now we have, you'll still have to figure out what this is right here, or you can decompose it in this way. You can cut them just like this. All right, so I know this is 4 times 8, and this is going to be 4 times 4, because this distance here is 4, because that's also 4. This is 4. 4 and 4 is 8. So your 16 is right here, and then 4 times 8, 32. So if you put all those together, you'll get 80 as well. So lots of different ways to do this problem. Lots of different ways to decompose it and to cut it into pieces. All right, let's go on to our next shape. So this one is one probably we want to decompose into just 2 simple shapes right here. You just cut it just like this. And this is pretty simple because all the numbers are given. So for this one, I'm not going to go over answer or anything. Just it's 48 times 48. That's going to be this. It's 48 times 80. That's going to be this. Put those 2 together and you are ready with the area. All right, here's one right here. This requires a little bit of thought. So it's kind of good to work on here. All right, I'm just going to pick that up. You can cut it this way. You can decompose, or you can even compose as a large rectangle. But I'll just do it a couple ways right here. You can cut it this way, right here. So we end up having 10 times 11, right? And that's 110. And then this other one is 25 this way, and you just have to figure that out. So if we know this whole thing is 15, and we know from here to here, that's 11, then we could figure out that this is going to be 4, because 4 plus 11 equals 15. So that's 25 times 4, which is 100. And so put those together, you should end up with 210. And you can cut it this way right here. So it's 10 times 15. And you get this. And then you have to kind of figure out both of these. You can figure the 4 out the same way. And then this, I know here is 10. That's 10 right there. So if the whole thing is 25, this must be 15 right here. This side length is 15. And 15 times 4 is 60. And so 60 plus 50 is 210. Same answer. Okay, let's see what else we have. This shape looks like a house. Houses are good shapes. You see those a lot. Math problems and stuff. And once again, decomposing into the triangle and the rectangle. Rectangle's simple, like 9 times 3, right? That's pretty fairly clear cut right there. So the rectangle is 27 square inches. The triangle, we need the base here. Now, one big triangle. Don't think that you have to cut it on the dotted line. I know that's the saying, cut on the dotted line. But here, the dotted line is simply telling you that the height is 2. You could have the dotted line outside like this and say that's 2. So, this does not mean we have to cut it there and do 2 separate triangles. Just do one triangle, one big triangle. Here's the base, and the height is 2. So 2 times the base. Now what is the base though? It's the same as the other side of the rectangle. So this edge of the triangle is also the edge of the rectangle, and the opposite edge is 9. So that's how we can tell what the base is. Now I've got 2 times 9, base times height, and I'm missing something. So what am I missing? Yes, do not forget triangles have 1/2. So here we have 1/2 times 2 times 9, and this is the easy part right here. 1/2 times 2 is 1. So 1 times 9, that's going to be our triangle right there, is 9. So let's add 9 square inches and 27 square inches, and we get 36 square inches. That's it. And we're coming down to the last one. This is a good one right here. It's tough. That's not too tough. It's just two triangles and a parallelogram. And the triangle, base times height, right? We need two sides that are 90-degree angles. That's a 90-degree angle. So are we going to do anything with this 9? No, we are just going to cross it out. We do not need it for area. We might need it for perimeter, but not for area. So I'm going to write up here, don't just write this on paper always, because people forget this 1/2 all the time. 1/2, that was a mess, wasn't it? Yeah, I can't. Anyway, 1/2 times the base. Oh, it doesn't have the base here. Hold on. What is the base number? Well, it's also, the base of this triangle is also part of the parallelogram, right? And the opposite side of the parallelogram is 8. So that is the base of the triangle, 8. And then the height is going to be 5. 8 times 5. Those two, base and height, 90-degree angles to each other. So that's this triangle, and the other triangle is also down here. So let's just go ahead and do this one. 1/2 times 8 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. So this triangle is going to be 20 square centimeters, and the other triangle is also going to be 20 square centimeters. And then our parallelogram is base times height. So let me switch to red here. Base of 8, height of 4. Base times height. 8 times 4 is 32. So we'll put 32 in here. So these are the three areas. 20, 20, and 32. And if we put them all together, we get 72 square centimeters. Okay. So that is, that's how you work each of these problems out. And if you have any further questions, just let me know. Bye-bye.